China and the US are set for talks on trade this weekend in Geneva, and Donald Trump has raised hopes of a deal to cut America's steep tariff on Chinese goods.
Right now, you can't get any higher. It's at 145, so we know it's coming down.
Speaking Thursday, he said the weekend meeting would be substantive and expressed confidence that China wanted to make a deal. Trump's tariffs sparked a tit-for-tat with Beijing, which ended up imposing its own 125% levy on US goods. But figures out Friday showed little impact yet on Chinese trade. The country's exports surged over 8% in April, or more than 4 times the amount forecast by analysts. Imports posted just a slight drop when they had been predicted to plunge. Speaking the same day, Vice Foreign Minister Hua Chunying said China had no fear over its ability to manage the trade turmoil. She said US policy could not be sustained, with ordinary Americans already suffering from the impact of tariffs. Hopes of progress were further raised this week after Washington agreed to a trade deal with the UK, the first such pact since Trump imposed sweeping global tariffs. Critics called the deal limited, but it cheered markets and lifted stocks ahead of the weekend. Trump himself seems confident that China is ready to reach agreement.
You know, they very much want to make a deal. We can all play games. Who made the first call? Who didn't make it? Doesn't matter. It only matters what happens in that room. But I will tell you that China very much wants to make a deal. We'll see how that works out.
The weekend talks in Switzerland will see Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and US trade negotiator Jameson Greer meet Chinese economy czar He Lifeng. Asked if he would talk to Chinese leader Xi Jinping in the following days, Trump said he might.
Hi, I'm Heather Roberts, and I'm running to be your next magisterial district judge. I was born and raised right here in Titusville and went on to earn a degree from Penn State University in crime, law, and justice. I began my career in victim services, working with survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault, helping them to navigate the justice system with strength, compassion, and dignity. Today, I work as a paralegal in family and personal injury law. I'm a proud mom of 3, and my husband Jack and I are proud to call Titusville home. I humbly ask for your vote and your support on May 20th at the primary election. Thank you.
The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home has been serving the needs of Titusville and surrounding communities since 1965. Mr. Garrett believed in tradition and commitment to excellence, standards that have been passed down from one generation to now a new generation, who will work to provide you with a beautiful, lasting tribute to your loved one. When you need them, they will be there for you. This has been their foundation for almost 60 years. The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home, 303 North Washington Street in Titusville.
Anyone with a kind and generous heart and a little money can be a philanthropist. You too can be a force for good in our community, and the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation is here to help you make the most of your charitable giving. We've partnered with hundreds of people like you to make our world and our community a better place. You can give through us to support scholarships or any charitable organization or purpose. Whether you're interested in establishing a permanent endowment or adding to an existing fund, we want to be a part of your plan. Contact us when you're ready to make your mark. Together, we can make your contribution go further.
If you're looking for a professional massage therapist, Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville is here for you. Brian Rauch graduated from Slippery Rock University with a bachelor's degree in exercise and rehabilitative sciences with an emphasis in athletic training. Tranquil Moments offers a wide range of services, from Swedish massage to deep tissue, sugar scrubs to hot towel inclusion therapy. Like them on Facebook and visit their website to learn more about all the services they offer. Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville.
Thinking about switching to 5G home internet? Think again. Unlike Zoom from Armstrong, 5G home internet is delivered by a cell tower. The further away you are, or the more devices connected to that tower, the slower your internet is. Cell phone providers also play favorites. When their network gets busy, cell phones win, and your home internet pays the price. Stick with Armstrong to get more data, more speed, and internet whenever you need it, not whenever they want. Armstrong, keeping you connected.
J. Gill Plumbing and Heating takes pride in being the premier heating and air conditioning service provider in the area. With over 30 years of experience, our highly skilled and certified technicians will work closely with you to address your heating and air conditioning repair, installation, or maintenance needs. Our team is dedicated to making your home the ultimate place of comfort. Call today to get a free estimate. We also offer financing options and membership opportunities that provide peace of mind and cost savings. Call J. Gill Plumbing and Heating today or visit them online 24/7 at jgillplumbingheating.com.
Sheer Design is Titusville's exclusive Paul Mitchell-focused salon. This full-service salon specializes in coloring, cuts, nails, and tanning. Owner Angela Saxon has over 20 years' experience as a Paul Mitchell professional. She and her licensed staff offer all cuts and styles for men and women of all ages. Call 814-827-0010 or stop in at 116 South Kerr Street in Titusville.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Levin, and I proudly own and operate Puppy Levin. Puppy Levin is a pet care salon dedicated to caring for your furry companions. We provide certified dog grooming services along with boarding and doggy daycare. Our facility is family-owned and operated and promise personalized care for every pet that comes through our doors. If you're worried about your furry friend being lonely when you're gone, we also have on-site personnel 24/7 just for their comfort. Follow us on Facebook and call or text us at 814-758-9259 to make an appointment today.
Share the fun of train travel and relive our country's oil history as you ride the OC&T through the valley that changed the world. Learn about the past while traveling on vintage cars. See a variety of wildlife with stops at Drakewell Park, Petroleum Center, and Oil Creek State Park. Arrive early and see the vast collection of train and railroad memorabilia at Perry Street Station. After the ride, enjoy a night's stay at the Caboose Motel. For seasonal specials or for more information, visit octrr.org or call 814-676-1733.
Stocks climbed Thursday as investors cheered a new trade deal between the U.S. and Britain, while President Donald Trump signaled upcoming talks with China would be more substantial than initially thought. The Dow and S&P 500 each gained roughly 0.6%, while the Nasdaq rose more than 1%. Britain agreed to lower its tariffs and provide greater access to U.S. goods as part of the trade agreement, while a 10% baseline tariff on goods imported from the UK into the U.S. remains in place. Airline stocks shot higher as the agreement exempted plane parts made by Rolls-Royce from tariffs. Shares of Delta Airlines closed up more than 7%. And shares of Boeing jumped after U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said the U.K. would buy $10 billion worth of its planes. Marianne Bartles, chief investment strategist with Sanctuary Wealth, says the deal provides more positive momentum for stocks.
Today, we're having a great reaction, and that's primarily due to the tariffs, again, coming to a resolution with the United Kingdom, with the UK. And I kind of feel with tariffs, it feels like 2 steps forwards, 1 step back, 2 steps forwards, 1 step back, but we're trending higher in the markets. So I really like the market reaction. I think it's doing very well. It doesn't mean that we can't have more volatility, but I think the worst is over for the markets. I think the low is already set.
When it comes to China, Trump said he expects consequential negotiations between the U.S. and Beijing this weekend and wouldn't be surprised if a deal was reached. Other stocks on the move included Tapestry, which gained after the owner of Coach and Kate Spade raised its annual forecasts. And shares of Krispy Kreme lost almost a quarter of their value after the donut chain became the latest to withdraw its full-year forecast.
From how one deal lifted hopes of a truce on trade to why global turmoil is no trouble for Mickey Mouse, this is the Week in Numbers. 10% is now the US tariff on imports of cars from the UK. That compares with the 25% on shipments from most other countries and is part of the first trade deal struck by the Trump administration. Critics noted the agreement was limited in scope, but Washington hailed it as the first of many deals. Trump himself raised hopes that steep tariffs on Chinese goods could soon be cut.
Right now, you can't get any higher. It's at 145, so we know it's coming down.
0.25 percentage point was the cut to rates in the UK, but Bank of England policymakers were divided over the move, which markets took to signal that further cuts could be slow in coming. Bank Governor Andrew Bailey said turbulent times made decision-making difficult.
As the past few weeks demonstrate, the global economic environment remains an uncertain one. Interest rates are not on autopilot.
21% is the decline in profits predicted by Toyota. The world's biggest automaker says tariffs are set to hit hard, as is the tumble for the dollar, which cuts the value of its US earnings. Boss Koji Sato said the lack of clarity on Washington's plans made navigating the trade turmoil all the harder. Just over $9.4 billion is how much investment firm 3G Capital is paying to take private sneakers brand Skechers. It's the biggest ever buyout in the footwear sector. The deal comes as Skechers faces a big hit from Trump's tariffs on China, which is the source of most of its shoes. And over 10% was the surge for shares in Walt Disney after its profit and sales both beat forecasts. Business boomed at its theme parks, despite global economic uncertainty, and the firm announced plans for a new branch in Abu Dhabi. There was also a surprise jump in subscribers for streaming service Disney Plus, when the company had previously warned of a modest decline.
Well, happy Friday as we take a look at your weather forecast for northwest Pennsylvania. Frost advisory in effect here this morning. Partly cloudy skies expected today with temperatures in the upper 50s. Clear skies tonight with lows in the upper 30s. Saturday, mostly sunny, low 70s for a high. Sunday, sunshine for Mother's Day and low 70s. Perfect weekend for mom. Monday, partly cloudy, low 80s. And Tuesday, rain showers with temperatures in the upper 60s. Meadville this morning at 37 degrees. Cambridge Springs, Edinburgh at 37. Titusville 36. Franklin this morning 37. Oil City 36 degrees here at 7:15. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel.
The sun peeks in through my window shade. Coffee brews as the dreams start to fade. I hear the jingle on that morning thrill. Luke and Amy light up the morning drill. Hey, hey, Friday, it's our time to glow. The morning drills are...
All right, happy Friday, everybody. Glad you're with us here. Beautiful start to the day. Going to be another, going with perspective here, cold. It's
Chilly.
not. It's fine, but we were out doing track last night, and it started out where it kind of felt warm.
Yeah.
Some rain came through, and by the time we were done, it felt pretty cold. I feel bad, like our spring sports programs around
It's
here.
been a rough season.
Yes, extremely rough.
We our youngest plays tennis. I'm calling it out right now. So our youngest plays tennis, and last night was supposed to be the last match of the season. So they were supposed to start at 3:30. I headed down to hopefully watch his last match of the season. And the other team, I'm saying it, Harbor Creek, their coaches.
No.
I'm saying it. There was a little moisture. Our coaches brushed it off the courts because, understandably, that's dangerous. They took a walk around the court. It wasn't to their satisfaction. Our coaches even went out and played on it to show them that it was not slick or slippery. They called it mildew. It was actually pollen because there was a tree right there in that one spot that they called mildew, and they determined the court wasn't good enough for them, so they got on their bus and they left.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not nice words right now. There's a large group. This is such a great group of kids playing tennis this year, and just like every other sport right now, it's been rough getting their matches, their games in, and to drive all that way and
not play.
We were in Erie, and their coach called it because it poured and
right,
it
and
wouldn't.
they didn't have the equipment there to handle the water on the court, but there was a lot of puddles and stuff.
I mean, this was not at all. You couldn't even tell that it rained, and it was absolutely ridiculous. So I have not nice things to say.
So little Amy's fired up here this morning, going into Mother's Day weekend, which means she's going to be fired up on everything.
Awesome.
It's going to be a great weekend for us.
Happy Friday.
Yeah. So we were out doing track. It was great. We had a lot of fun. Obviously, you get to this stage and you're like, okay, especially like the parents. We went. How many years do we spend going to invitationals and
Oh yeah,
we're at track events?
definitely. And it was cold. You would start the morning off actually in a hoodie and a jacket, and at some point in time you may have taken it off.
I saw people in winter gear yesterday.
Yeah.
So yes, but usually by this point, the world says, "Hey, let's thank these people and let's have a few nice days." And no, that's not the case.
I did laugh about it because one mom said, it's never been this cold at the beginning of May. But it has.
It has.
It has. Our middle son, a few days before it was born, he was born, it was a blizzard, and his birthday is May 6th. So, there was a blizzard, and I got stranded in Erie, and you had to come rescue me. Yeah, you had to come rescue me because they were shutting down roads. But, it just hasn't in a long time. We've been so spoiled for quite some time with our weather. So it's Pennsylvania weather right now. So
it just, again, you feel bad for the athletes, especially those going to districts or have a chance at states, and they're in weather like this, and then maybe the weather changes. I mean, especially with track and field and those outdoor events. They're all outdoor in the spring, but how does weather play a role? And
I remember playing softball. It was a roller coaster. You started the season with layers on under your uniform, and you ended rolling your sleeves up and sweating to death.
Right.
and not this year. So
No, it's
not at all.
Yeah.
So maybe 1 or 2 games where you rolled your sleeves up, and the rest you were.
Yep. So anyhow, it was a lot of fun just getting out and covering track and field last night.
You did a good job. I was watching it because I didn't have a match to watch really. That's a difficult one,
Yes,
and
it
this
is.
is your second year doing it. I mean, you've got
third
year. Sorry,
First year we went down in flames.
I wasn't trying to remember that one, but no, you've got multiple cameras set up because you've got like an event all the way over here across the park, and then events here and here, and things constantly going, and it was great. It was seamless.
Not perfect, but there's things.
You can tell it's not perfect, but I can't. Like the normal eye is like, oh, this looks good. It looks good. I'm catching it all. It's great.
Track is difficult.
Yeah, because everything's happening at the same time.
Right.
So your screens were like on the track and then on the field.
Yeah.
So, good job.
Thanks.
I'm proud of you.
We have a good crew.
You do.
We have a real good crew.
Yeah.
It was great having Steve with us. Steve does football with us, but Steve was a hurling coach and high jump. Retired last year from coaching, and it was great having him and getting his insight last night. But Titusville took on Meadville and Oil City. This was one thing Steve wanted to emphasize. It wasn't a tri-meet where everybody competes against each other. It was Titusville taking on Meadville, Titusville taking on Oil City. Oil City wasn't taking on Meadville. They already had their stuff in.
Yeah.
So that's what made that a little different. So not a tri-meet, but But it was fun. And it was great seeing all the kids and the athletes and just being out. We did talk a lot about going to invitationals and how cold they were, and it was like it was never like perfect weather, and then you get into it's just the way everything falls. For us, we have prom on Friday, but Oil City always had their invitational the next day on Saturday, and it was always interesting to see the kids, and they were great, but coming off of prom, that's a tough weekend to try to get anything in.
That was all always difficult for our boys.
Yeah.
So,
but
they're basically sleeping in the tent, and you're kicking them. Hey, you have an event.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going.
And it seemed like the Franklin Invitational was always either cold or rainy. Wet.
No, I was laughing because one year we went and I think I had like a hoodie and a jacket and a blanket wrapped around me. And the next year we went, I was like sweating to death. So it was weird. But yeah.
But fun. A lot of fun. We're going to get to birthdays, what we're celebrating. And we're not just talking about what we're celebrating today.
All weekend.
Hey,
Big
how about
party.
this? Congratulations. Our Catholic friends have a new pope.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So exciting.
First American.
I know. That's what's so exciting.
It is, other than he's a Cubs fan. So, speaking of baseball, I'll say, I was going to wait till we have Bruce on in the 8 o'clock hour, but if you're waking up and maybe you haven't been paying attention, the Pirates fired manager Derek Shelton.
Whoa.
So, that came yesterday. Pirates fire Derek Shelton after going 12-26 to start this season.
Wow.
I'm not sure that's going to be the fix. Why aren't they firing? And you could list some people. Why is an ownership? Well, again, we'll wait and talk to Bruce about all this. But, Pirates making some changes. We'll go through some of those sports
He's a
scores.
White Sox fan, not a Cubs fan.
Oh, he's White Sox?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was Cubs.
You were corrected. I don't know.
I thought I saw, like, a Cubs hat.
Am I Googling? Is the Pope
Yes,
new
double
Pope
check
look?
that.
I'm Googling it.
Yeah. Yes.
Well,
I'll do it while you do birthdays.
Okay.
So let's get to that. But no, I could very well be wrong, but I swear I saw.
Say that again. I don't hear that very often.
That's, All right. Who's celebrating a birthday today on this 9th day of May?
Actress Candice Bergen is 79. Singer Billy Joel is 76. Actor John Corbett is 64. Actress Rosario Dawson is 46. And reality star Adriana Partridge is 40. Then actress Grace Gummer is 39. And that is all.
All right, happy birthday to them. Happy birthday to you if today happens to be your birthday from all of us here this morning. What are we celebrating, not just today, but through the weekend?
This brings back memories. Alphabet Magnet Day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Those were horrible, right?
They were horrible, but my grandparents lived in Virginia, and when we'd get together with them, there would be like a group of cousins, and I would spell inappropriate words, and then I'd blame it on a certain cousin just to watch him get in trouble.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
When I was little, my mom used to feed me alphabet soup, claiming that I loved it. I didn't really. She was just putting words in my mouth.
It's also Child Care Provider Day, Fantastic Day, Hooray for Buttons Day, Lost Sock Memorial Day, National Butterscotch Brownie Day, National Military Spouse Appreciation Day, National Moscato Day, National Provider Appreciation Day, National Public Gardens Day, National Sleepover Day, Tear the Tags Off the Mattress Day, Biggest Week in American Birding, Foster Care Fortnight, National Public Garden Week, National Stuttering Awareness Week, and that is all for today. You ready for tomorrow?
Sure.
Okay, it's Archery Day, Birth Mother's Day, Brunch for Lunch Day, Dog Mom Day, International Day of Argania. It is Micronesia Constitution Day, Mother Ocean Day, Mother's Day in Mexico, National Babysitter Day, National Clean Your Room Day, National Golf Day. Yeah. National Mini Golf Day, National Lipid Day, National Ship Via Rail Day, National Shrimp Day, National Small Business Day, National Train Day, National Washington Day, National Windmill Day, One Day Without Shoes, Stamp Out Hunger Food Drive Day, Stay Up All Night Day, Trust Your Intuition Day, World Belly Dance Day, World Buck Fast Day, World Fair Trade Day, World Lupus Day, World
It's never lupus.
Huh?
It's never lupus.
National
At least if you watch House.
Yeah, I'm like, oh. National Bike Week, National Mental Health Awareness Week, National Mills Weekend. And then on Sunday, we have Hostess Cupcake Day.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
I haven't had one of those in a long time.
Mother's Day, Mother's at the Wall Day, National Eat What You Want Day, National Foam Rolling Day, National Technology Day, National Veal Ban Action Day, Somerset Day, Twilight Zone Day, World Ego Awareness Day, World Topiary Day, Brain Injury Awareness Week, Christian Aid Week, Data Innovation Day, Huntington's Disease Awareness Week, National Hospital Week, National Women's Health Week, Prepare Tomorrow's Parents Month, and that's it.
All right. Have a great Mother's Day.
Yeah.
All right, so I stand corrected.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Here's the now. I guess initial.
Defend yourself. Go ahead.
Well, no. Initial reports, and there's like video where they show like a Cubs hat and all this stuff. So that's what I was going off of.
Okay.
According to the Pope's brother, and this just seems like a very American thing
This is
here.
such an American thing. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Because this is what we care about.
Hey, not only congratulations, tell us about your brother. Oh, yeah, but before you do that.
Who's his favorite football
You grew up in
team?
Chicago, yeah. So, I guess his brother said he was never, ever a Cubs fan. He was a White Sox fan.
Oh.
Now, it's sort of a kind of a split household, I guess. His mother was a Cubs fan. His father was a fan of the St. Louis Cardinals.
Oh, wow.
He is a White Sox fan. Now, that's from his brother, so.
I would say brothers know best, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now, the Cubs did tweet a congratulations to him, so.
That's nice.
Well, actually, did I see they put out a sign, hey, Chicago, he's a Cubs fan? Yes, they put that out. But no. The White Sox put out a sign too. Hey, Chicago, he's a Sox fan. So a little back and forth there. All right, 7:30. Your headlines are next.
China and the US are set for talks on trade this weekend in Geneva, and Donald Trump has raised hopes of a deal to cut America's steep tariff on Chinese goods.
Right now, you can't get any higher. It's at 145, so we know it's coming down.
Speaking Thursday, he said the weekend meeting would be substantive and expressed confidence that China wanted to make a deal. Trump's tariffs sparked a tit-for-tat with Beijing, which ended up imposing its own 125% levy on US goods. But figures out Friday showed little impact yet on Chinese trade. The country's exports surged over 8% in April, or more than 4 times the amount forecast by analysts. Imports posted just a slight drop when they had been predicted to plunge. Speaking the same day, Vice Foreign Minister Hua Chunying said China had no fear over its ability to manage the trade turmoil. She said US policy could not be sustained, with ordinary Americans already suffering from the impact of tariffs. Hopes of progress were further raised this week after Washington agreed to a trade deal with the UK, the first such pact since Trump imposed sweeping global tariffs. Critics called the deal limited, but it cheered markets and lifted stocks ahead of the weekend. Trump himself seems confident that China is ready to reach agreement.
You know, they very much want to make a deal. We can all play games. Who made the first call? Who didn't make the? It doesn't matter. It only matters what happens in that room. But I will tell you that China very much wants to make a deal. We'll see how that works out.
The weekend talks in Switzerland will see Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and US trade negotiator Jameson Greer meet Chinese economy tsar He Lifeng. Asked if he would talk to Chinese leader Xi Jinping in the following days, Trump said he might.
Vehicle shopping? Make sure you check out Titusville Ford first. Shop our amazing selection of new and pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs in stock. Visit us on Route 8 in Titusville and see why our customer service is a cut above the rest. Titusville Ford, your hometown dealer.
Winter rages on in northwest Pennsylvania, and luckily Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning is only a phone call away when your heating emergency strikes. Whether it's residential or light commercial, new construction, repair or replacement, Vanderhoof has the experience to get the job done right. Call today to set up an appointment or visit the Vanderhoof website to learn more. At Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning, we look forward to fulfilling all of your HVAC needs and projects now and into the future. Vanderhoof Heating and Air Conditioning in Titusville.
Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding is located at 305 East Spring Street in Titusville. Marsh Home Center welcomes you in to explore their growing inventory of name brand furniture, appliances, and bedding. Need something not currently in stock? No problem. Order from Marsh's online catalog and have it delivered right to your door. Visit Marsh's to see their entire showroom. Ask questions, see what items are on sale, or just stop in and say hi. Marsh Home Center Furniture, Appliances, and Bedding, behind Giant Eagle in Titusville.
Looking for expert orthopedic care? Dr. Charlie Gates, a trusted name at Titusville Area Hospital, can help you regain mobility and a better quality of life. With years of experience and a passion for personalized care, Dr. Gates specializes in treating a wide range of orthopedic conditions. Whether it's joint pain, sports injuries, or orthopedic surgery, trust Dr. Charlie Gates at Titusville Area Hospital for your orthopedic care. Call 814-827-9770 today to schedule your appointment.
Welcome to Inspire Med Spa, the place you know and love for massages, Botox, laser resurfacing, and semi-permanent makeup. Now we're offering even more, including laser hair removal, tattoo removal, and hair rejuvenation. Our team is here to provide expert care in a peaceful, luxurious environment designed with your relaxation in mind. And with our newly added services, now you can get all your beauty services in one place. Visit Inspire Med Spa today, because you deserve to look and feel your best.
Interstate Pipe and Supply takes pride in providing superior customer service. That's why our dedicated employees are well trained and have the experience to offer friendly, quick, and reliable service and support. Need materials delivered to your job site? No problem. Interstate offers fast delivery from our 4 locations in Western Pennsylvania. We also serve Eastern Ohio, Northern Western Virginia, and Western New York. Service means business at Western Pennsylvania's premier pipe and supply company, Interstate Pipe and Supply.
Whether you want to go and lead in your craft in the trades, whether you want to go and be that nurse or medical worker and have a real impact on lives, or whether you want to go and help that business improve its bottom line, this is the place, and now is your time to go with confidence, to go with skill, to go succeed. The Education and Training Center at Pitt Titusville.
I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us, but try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same. But you have excuses because you're old, so it's okay.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at sounditouttogether.org.
It's Chevy Truck Month at Community Chevrolet, your Silverado headquarters. So we're getting out the Price Slicer.
Please handle with caution.
This truck month, save more than $9,000 off the new Chevy Silverado 1500 Custom Crew. More than $4,000 off the Silverado 1500 Crew Cab Custom. And more than $2,500 off the 2500.
With 3.9% financing for 5 human years.
The Price Slicer's out all truck month, only at Community Chevrolet.
Hi, I'm Heather Roberts, and I'm running to be your next magisterial district judge. I was born and raised right here in Titusville and went on to earn a degree from Penn State University in crime, law, and justice. I began my career in victim services, working with survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault, helping them to navigate the justice system with strength, compassion, and dignity. Today, I work as a paralegal in family and personal injury law. I'm a proud mom of 3, and my husband Jack and I are proud to call Titusville home. I humbly ask for your vote and your support on May 20th at the primary election. Thank you.
Stocks climbed Thursday as investors cheered a new trade deal between the U.S. and Britain, while President Donald Trump signaled upcoming talks with China would be more substantial than initially thought. The Dow and S&P 500 each gained roughly 0.6%, while the Nasdaq rose more than 1%. Britain agreed to lower its tariffs and provide greater access to U.S. goods as part of the trade agreement, while a 10% baseline tariff on goods imported from the UK into the U.S. remains in place. Airline stocks shot higher as the agreement exempted plane parts made by Rolls-Royce from tariffs. Shares of Delta Airlines closed up more than 7%. And shares of Boeing jumped after U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said the UK would buy $10 billion worth of its planes. Marianne Bartles, chief investment strategist with Sanctuary Wealth, says the deal provides more positive momentum for stocks.
Today, we're having a great reaction, and that's primarily due to the tariffs, again, coming to a resolution with the United Kingdom, with the UK. And I kind of feel with tariffs, it feels like 2 steps forwards, 1 step back, 2 steps forwards, 1 step back, but we're trending higher in the markets. So I really like the market reaction. I think it's doing very well. It doesn't mean that we can't have more volatility, but I think the worst is over for the markets. I think the low is already set.
When it comes to China, Trump said he expects consequential negotiations between the U.S. and Beijing this weekend and wouldn't be surprised if a deal was reached. Other stocks on the move included Tapestry, which gained after the owner of Coach and Kate Spade raised its annual forecasts. And shares of Krispy Kreme lost almost a quarter of their value after the donut chain became the latest to withdraw its full-year forecast.
It's really good to have got this deal over the line.
With British Prime Minister Keir Starmer on speakerphone, U.S. President Donald Trump announced a breakthrough trade deal with the United Kingdom on Thursday. It's the first such agreement since Trump sparked a global trade war with a barrage of tariffs on other nations.
With this deal, the UK joins the United States in affirming that reciprocity and fairness is an essential and vital principle of international trade.
The deal leaves in place a 10% tariff on goods imported from the UK, while Britain agreed to lower its tariffs to 1.8% from 5.1% and provide greater access to U.S. goods.
This is a really fantastic, historic day in which we can announce this deal between our two great countries, and I think it's a real tribute to the history that we have of working so closely together.
The deal will reduce U.S. tariffs on British auto imports to 10% from the current 27.5%, according to a UK statement. U.S. tariffs on imports from the struggling UK steel industry will fall to 0 from 25%, while British tariffs on U.S. ethanol will fall to 0 from 19%. The United States has been under pressure to strike deals to de-escalate its tariff war, after Trump's often chaotic policymaking upended global trade with friends and foe alike, threatening to stoke inflation and start a recession.
The Bank of England cut its main interest rate on Thursday. It came down by a quarter point to 4.25%. That was despite a surprise three-way split among policymakers as US tariffs hit global economic growth. The bank's rate setters voted 5-4 in favour of the decision. 2 members of the committee voted for a bigger cut, while others wanted to keep rates on hold. George Godber is a fund manager at Polar Capital.
The cut is not a surprise. That was fully priced in market. What has been a surprise is that 2 members voted to hold rates. So, we've got 2 voting for 50 basis points cuts, the rest voting for this 25 bips. So it looks like a very, very confusing message. But I think the main thing is at the moment, the Bank of England is on a trajectory for gentle cutting. That's likely to change later in the year, but at the moment, that's really the message that the market will take from this.
Bank Governor Andrew Bailey said the central bank must stick to a gradual and careful approach to rate cuts.
As the past few weeks demonstrate, the global economic environment remains an uncertain one. Interest rates are not on autopilot. They cannot be.
Thursday's decision is the central bank's first since President Donald Trump announced wide-ranging tariffs in early April. It caused temporary market turmoil and led the International Monetary Fund to cut its growth forecasts for most major economies, including Britain. The Bank of England said it thought tariff increases by the US and other countries would weigh somewhat on British economic growth. It further argued it would push down on inflation, but said the outlook is unclear.
From tensions on Capitol Hill to a $4 billion IPO, this is Crypto Weekly. Frustrations in Washington over President Donald Trump's various cryptocurrency ventures escalated this week. It threatened to derail the digital asset sector's hope of legislation by the end of this year. A top Democratic lawmaker stalled efforts to debate a bill. Democrats have grown increasingly frustrated as Republican Trump and his family members have promoted their personal crypto projects. Representative Maxine Waters' objection to a joint hearing scheduled for Tuesday effectively cancelled proceedings, which were due to discuss creating a new legal regime for cryptocurrencies. Britain is to restrict consumers' use of credit cards to buy crypto and their access to crypto lending products. The country's regulator said it wants to improve protection. The Finance Ministry this week said it would bring cryptocurrencies under compulsory regulation, with exchanges, dealers and issuers all coming under the existing rulebook. Crypto trading has exploded in popularity, with around 7 million people, about 12% of the adult population, owning crypto assets. Israel's eToro has said it's targeting a valuation of up to $4 billion in its US initial public offering, as the retail trading platform moves ahead with its long-awaited New York flotation. Founded in 2007, eToro's trading platform allows users to invest in stocks and some cryptocurrencies. The company had agreed in September to limit its US crypto offerings to Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash and Ether, as part of a settlement with the Securities and Exchange Commission. That was after charges that it had operated as an unregistered broker and unregistered clearing agency.
From how one deal lifted hopes of a truce on trade, to why global turmoil is no trouble for Mickey Mouse. This is the Week in Numbers. 10% is now the US tariff on imports of cars from the UK. That compares with the 25% on shipments from most other countries, and is part of the first trade deal struck by the Trump administration. Critics noted the agreement was limited in scope, but Washington hailed it as the first of many deals. Trump himself raised hopes that steep tariffs on Chinese goods could soon be cut.
Right now, you can't get any higher. It's at 145, so we know it's coming down.
0.25 percentage point was the cut to rates in the UK, but Bank of England policymakers were divided over the move, which markets took to signal that further cuts could be slow in coming. Bank Governor Andrew Bailey said turbulent times made decision-making difficult.
As the past few weeks demonstrate, the global economic environment remains an uncertain one. Interest rates are not on autopilot.
21% is the decline in profits predicted by Toyota. The world's biggest automaker says tariffs are set to hit hard, as is the tumble for the dollar, which cuts the value of its US earnings. Boss Koji Sato said the lack of clarity on Washington's plans made navigating the trade turmoil all the harder. Just over $9.4 billion is how much investment firm 3G Capital is paying to take private sneakers brand Skechers. It's the biggest ever buyout in the footwear sector. The deal comes as Skechers faces a big hit from Trump's tariffs on China, which is the source of most of its shoes. And over 10% was the surge for shares in Walt Disney after its profit and sales both beat forecasts. Business boomed at its theme parks, despite global economic uncertainty, and the firm announced plans for a new branch in Abu Dhabi. There was also a surprise jump in subscribers for streaming service Disney Plus, when the company had previously warned of a modest decline.
All right, let's take a look at that weather forecast for northwest Pennsylvania on this Friday morning. Partly cloudy skies expected today with temperatures in the upper 50s. Clear skies tonight and lows in the upper 30s. Saturday, mostly sunny, low 70s. Sunday, sunshine, low 70s. Monday, partly cloudy, low 80s. And Tuesday, rain showers with temperatures in the upper 60s. It's about 37, 38 degrees here in northwest Pennsylvania. 7:50 is our time here this morning. And we welcome you in. And, a lot going on in the world. A lot of business stories, a lot of national headlines. Let's get to a couple sports scores here for you from yesterday. We'll start with Major League Baseball. Twins beat the Orioles 5-2. Red Sox over the Rangers 5-0. Royals beat the White Sox 10-0. It was a 10-2 win for the Tigers over the Rockies. In Game 1 and Game 2, the Tigers beat the Rockies again 11-1. Phillies over the Rays in 10 innings 7-6. Braves beat the Reds in 11 5-4. It was an 8-5 win for the Blue Jays over the Angels. Diamondbacks beat the Dodgers 5-3. Now, Pirates didn't play yesterday, but they did announce that they released Derek Shelton. So Pirates making some changes there on their off day. When you look at games scheduled for today, the Pirates will take on the Braves in Pittsburgh tonight at 6:40. Pirates are 12-26. Tigers have the Rangers tonight. Nationals taking on the Cardinals. It's the Rays and the Brewers at 7:05. Mets and the Cubs at 7:10. Guardians to host the Phillies tonight at 7:10. Royals have the Red Sox, White Sox, and the Marlins tonight at 7:40. Astros will host the Reds. Twins and Giants tonight. Colorado and San Diego at 8:40. Angels and Orioles, Diamondbacks, Dodgers, Mariners taking on the Blue Jays, A's hosting the Yankees tonight at 10:05. Hockey action. You had the Capitals skating past the Hurricanes to win 3-1. That series tied up 1 apiece. The Oilers beating the Vegas Golden Knights in overtime 5-4. Oilers lead that series 2-0 there. What is going on over there?
I don't know.
Having a little party? Mm-hmm. Tonight, you got the Panthers hosting the Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs lead that series 2-0. Jets and the Stars tonight at 9:30. Stars lead that series 1-0. NBA action, Timberwolves with the win over the Warriors 117-93. That series is tied up 1 apiece. Tonight, the Pacers take on the Cavaliers in Indiana. Pacers lead that series 2-0. Nuggets will have the Thunder tonight at 10 o'clock. That series tied up 1 game apiece. So there's some sports highlights for you, and we'll talk more Pittsburgh sports next hour with Bruce Peterson. We also next hour have Christian Maher from the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation.
Woo! Busy morning.
Yeah. It's only the second Friday here in the month. I say that because it feels like it's...
That's a problem?
No.
Okay.
We had a guest yesterday who said he absolutely loves Mondays.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of refreshing.
Yeah.
I won't get into it. I know we do almost every week. But I don't mind Mondays. I like Mondays. Some excitement to it, right?
Yeah. Good stuff.
Challenging, but okay, got the week
it's
ahead.
It's like a new beginning.
Yes.
It's like refreshing. And then reality hits sometimes. But sometimes it's, it's okay.
Sometimes, right?
Sometimes.
Any headlines grab your attention this week?
I don't think so.
Coming into Mother's Day. Boy, this is going to be a beautiful Mother's Day weekend.
It is. Don't forget time.
Just spend time, right?
Just spend time. Don't, And know your spouse.
Oh. Well, because, everybody's different.
Yeah, everybody's a little bit different. I mean, I can sit here and say, flowers and jewelry aren't necessary, but that could be what they love or want. And please know, from a female's perspective, when, I had to get this lesson to our youngest. When a girl says, oh, no, don't worry about my birthday, I really don't want anything, that means think for yourself.
This is a trap here.
Not really. It's not. Because if you ask me what do you want for your birthday? What I want, I usually buy. Like, I will get it if I really want it. So when you're asking me, what do you want for your birthday? I don't know. I want you to think for yourself and and even if it's a homemade card, that's fantastic. Just think for yourself. It's not really a trap. It's just,
Kind of feels like it is.
It's a communication barrier sometimes.
It's funny. I just saw somebody posted this where if your significant other's like, I just want quiet, leave me alone.
Mm-hmm.
They really want you there. It's like, don't talk to me, but talk to me.
Yeah. Everybody's a little bit different.
Yeah.
No, when I'm like, I just need quiet. I just need quiet. When you see me with my beats on, don't talk to me.
I do all the time.
Are horrific. And then you'll get mad because I can't hear you. Guess what? They're noise canceling. That includes you.
Well, no. When I can hear what you're listening to.
Okay, well, back off.
It's a little loud.
Listen, I can still hear you when they're not on.
Well, it's okay. I don't have anything on, and I don't hear you at all. So
correct. There's a huge difference there.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. So let's circling back to Mother's Day.
Oh,
know
okay.
your spouse, and yes, your spouse is not your mother. However, you're setting an example and making a representation.
No, wait a second. No. It's different if you're in a relationship and you don't have kids.
Oh yeah, correct. I'm saying I just said you're setting an example for your children.
Okay.
If you have children, if she is a mom.
Okay.
So
we're gonna kind of celebrate it tomorrow because
Mm-hmm.
I have work on Sunday.
Yes.
But it's supposed to be. I mean, tomorrow and Sunday is supposed to be beautiful. So perfect. And it's great. Usually we'll have some nice days during the week, and then like the weekends get cold. And, last weekend was all rainy and stuff. Really looking forward to this weekend, getting out and
should be good.
Having some fun. Yeah.
Yeah. Yay.
All right. So before we send you off and we get set for our third hour, again, frost advisory here in effect this morning. But partly cloudy skies. Again, cooler today, upper 50s. Clear skies tonight, upper 30s for a low. And then we get into Saturday, and we're looking at mostly sunny skies with temperatures in the low 70s. Sunday, sunny with temperatures in the low 70s. Monday, partly cloudy, low 80s. And then Tuesday, really the cold spot next week. Showers in upper 60s. Other than that, next week, like 70s and 80s. And then maybe the following week a bit cooler with temperatures in the 60s. But next week should be somewhat enjoyable temperature-wise. But again, we got some days next week where we're looking at rain coming back. So
yeah,
just be ready for that. By the way, all this rain, I know. When you see the sun shining, you kind of tend to see like everything is so green. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful.
It is gorgeous. It is. It's nice.
So just kind of take that in.
I laugh because it's like you're trying to mow in between it all because the rain is making the grass grow high. But then it's like, do I have a spot when it's not raining so I can mow? That's been fun. I think I mowed, what night? Wednesday night?
Yeah.
Like at 8 o'clock at night, I was trying to get it done.
Well, you were coming back from picking our son up from college. And,
I was.
Yeah, you kind of... This is the competitive part of Amy. When she sees, like, the neighbors have mowed that day.
Yeah, I have mowed. I had mowed a few days prior. Again, it rained, and it started to get a little crazy again, and we had some... what are they called? Dandelions. Oh, my gosh. Coming up, and then the neighbors just mowed, and I'm like, oh. So I quickly mowed. So... Yeah, that is the competitive edge. Sorry.
All right. Happy Mother's Day.
Yes.
Our third hour will continue on our website, streammedia.tv, on our YouTube channel. Great local programming continues on the Armstrong Neighborhood channel. Christian Maher, Bruce Peterson coming up next hour for us.
Every time that I go, I'm tied to a wedding.
Hi, I'm Heather Roberts, and I'm running to be your next magisterial district judge. I was born and raised right here in Titusville and went on to earn a degree from Penn State University in crime, law, and justice. I began my career in victim services, working with survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault, helping them to navigate the justice system with strength, compassion, and dignity. Today, I work as a paralegal in family and personal injury law. I'm a proud mom of 3, and my husband Jack and I are proud to call Titusville home. I humbly ask for your vote and your support on May 20th at the primary election. Thank you.
Thinking about switching to 5G home internet? Think again. Unlike Zoom from Armstrong, 5G home internet is delivered by a cell tower. The further away you are, or the more devices connected to that tower, the slower your internet is. Cell phone providers also play favorites. When their network gets busy, cell phones win, and your home internet pays the price. Stick with Armstrong to get more data, more speed, and internet whenever you need it, not whenever they want. Armstrong, keeping you connected.
Are you tired of juggling multiple pill bottles? Titusville Express Pharmacy has your solution, now offering compliance packaging. Your medication sorted and sealed by dose, making it easier than ever to stay on track. In a hurry? Take advantage of our convenient drive-through service. We also offer free local delivery for those that qualify. Titusville Express Pharmacy, where convenience meets care. Visit us today at 401 West Spring Street in Titusville. Simplify your medication routine with Titusville Express Pharmacy.
Poppy's Equipment and Storage Rental in Pleasantville is committed to providing our customers with exceptional service while offering quality rental equipment. Poppy's is now an authorized steel dealer with everything you need to have for sawing and cutting or mowing to digging. And of course, Poppy's has tents, tables, chairs, heaters, generators, barbecues, and more for your next wedding or get-together. Need firewood or propane? No problem. Whether you're in construction or a weekend warrior, reach out to Poppy's about your next project. Poppy's Place on the Tenesta Road in Pleasantville. Community Connect Federal Credit Union, serving Crawford, Venango, Forest, and Warren counties. Their mission is to provide quality, low-cost, and personal financial products for the growth and security of their members and families. Stop in, call, or visit our website, communityconnectfcu.com, and click Join to get started. Community Connect Federal Credit Union, 1050 East Spring Street in Titusville.
For a unique shopping experience with great gift ideas, decor, and so much more, come check out what Titusville Market Square's nearly 100 vendors have to offer. Featuring unique items from local agribusiness, craftsmen, and vendors. We also offer products from 4 regional dairies, including a full line of Titusville dairy products. We carry a complete line of Amish wedding products, local honey, and maple syrup, as well as nostalgic Dog and Suds root beer and Fiestada pizzas. Don't forget to pick up fresh Clark's Donuts, delivered daily. Titusville Market Square, the new name in one-stop shopping.
Who can solve this equation?
Ooh! Me.
Anyone else? Fine. Jake from State Farm. Again.
Right. It's the personal price plan theorem. If you bundle your home and auto, that can equal an affordable price just for you. Bundling. Just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Fat Chad's Brewing is Titusville's premier dining destination, offering fine dining served with a cold beverage and great conversations. Try our new menu items, the T-bone steak, homemade meatloaf dinner, or soft shell crab tacos. Our pasta entries and sandwiches are just as popular. Try the new lobster ravioli, shrimp and scallop pasta, or our popular Asiago chicken. Don't forget about our famous burgers or fish sandwich, all served with fresh cut fries. Come in Saturday nights for Wild Game Saturdays. For good food and good times, it's Fat Chad's Brewing in Titusville.
For over 11 years, Triple M Roofing has been providing Amish quality craftsmanship and work ethic that you can rely on. Pole barns, decks, porches, siding, and almost all roofing needs, Triple M Roofing will get the job done on time without sacrificing quality or the promise to deliver within your budget. Call today for a free estimate, 814-964-0472. Waiting is what you'll do with the other guys. Getting it done is what we do. Amish owned and operated, we're Triple M Roofing.
Stocks climbed Thursday as investors cheered a new trade deal between the U.S. and Britain, while President Donald Trump signaled upcoming talks with China would be more substantial than initially thought. The Dow and S&P 500 each gained roughly 0.6%, while the Nasdaq rose more than 1%. Britain agreed to lower its tariffs and provide greater access to U.S. goods as part of the trade agreement, while a 10% baseline tariff on goods imported from the U.K. into the U.S. remains in place. Airline stocks shot higher as the agreement exempted plane parts made by Rolls-Royce from tariffs. Shares of Delta Airlines closed up more than 7%. And shares of Boeing jumped after U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said the U.K. would buy $10 billion worth of its planes. Marianne Bartles, chief investment strategist with Sanctuary Wealth, says the deal provides more positive momentum for stocks.
Today, we're having a great reaction, and that's primarily due to the tariffs, again, coming to a resolution with the United Kingdom, with the UK. And I kind of feel with tariffs, it feels like 2 steps forwards, 1 step back, 2 steps forwards, 1 step back, but we're trending higher in the markets. So I really like the market reaction. I think it's doing very well. It doesn't mean that we can't have more volatility, but I think the worst is over for the markets. I think the low is already set.
When it comes to China, Trump said he expects consequential negotiations between the U.S. and Beijing this weekend and wouldn't be surprised if a deal was reached. Other stocks on the move included Tapestry, which gained after the owner of Coach and Kate Spade raised its annual forecasts. And shares of Krispy Kreme lost almost a quarter of their value after the donut chain became the latest to withdraw its full-year forecast.
Well, joining us this morning is the Executive Director of the Crawford Heritage Community Foundations, Mr. Christian Maher. Christian, good morning. Good to see you.
Is that me?
That's you. A couple things here. I know there's several countdowns sort of going on in your mind. Graduations.
There's nothing going on in my mind. it is wind whistling through.
Let me just throw these out to you. Graduation coming up.
So
Crawford Gives. Crawford County Fair.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the fair.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
What's been going on?
I just got back from Pittsburgh. We have a statewide organization that that convenes all of the community foundations in the state, and I think I'm going to say there's like 30 some odd of us community foundations, and so we had a meeting with staff from every politician in the state. So the governor's office, Senator McCormick's office, Senator Fetterman's office. I have no faith that anything is going to ever get accomplished after that. I'm such a cynic. It's
so all
terrible.
These meetings and then
and we had a speaker talking about civic engagement and things like that, which was great. Like, it was really interesting. And I have some really wonderful colleagues, and so there are several of us who are like smaller rural community foundations, and so we do kind of similar things, and so it's a nice opportunity for us to get together and talk and say, hey, how are you doing this thing, operating on a shoestring, trying to make an impact in your communities. And so that was fun. We don't have quite as much in common with our friends at the Pittsburgh Foundation, who have the problem of having billions of dollars.
What? They do.
With a B, yeah.
Oh,
billions.
my gosh.
So they're in a slightly different league. And the same goes for our colleagues at the Philadelphia Foundation. Lovely people, but our problems are very different. And again, they're large, urban community foundations. So, I mean, you're tackling very different issues. So again, it was nice to see lots of people talk about the things that we're facing. Talk about ways that we can support each other, because if I'm doing something and they're doing something, it's easier just to borrow the thing they're doing sometimes, and vice versa, and be like, hey, I just wrote this great thing, you can use this for your promotions, just slap your name on it.
Do you find that there are organizations that are open to that, and then there's some that just say, you know what, this is sort of our little private thing?
There are, you know, and I think it just depends on, you know, kind of your culture. My colleague at the Westmoreland Foundation, my colleague Trenton Mullen, who you've met at Bridge Builders Community Foundations out in Venango County, and several others, like, they're just great people who are willing to share. If we have a problem, I can call up and say, hey, are you running into this kind of thing? And how would you address it? And vice versa. Like, we just have this great rapport and great support system. So, but, you know, we always have a couple who are like, oh, no, my thing is my thing, and you can't borrow it. And I'm like, this isn't like IBM with intellectual property that it's, you know, that important.
Yeah.
So, but, you know, I suppose in every business, at every industry, there is that curmudgeonly person who are just like, we're not going to help. I'm like, all right, well, you know, I think we do better together, but you do you.
Yeah, I have that problem at times because I'm with other people who are doing similar type of things that I do. I'm very supportive of that, like especially when it comes to sports, because I think every community wants their hometown broadcasters, and I'm very supportive of that aspect, and helping those people if they have a similar mission as you, right, and promoting the kids in the school and the community. Yeah. But then there's also that line that you draw where it's like, okay, how much am I going to help, and how much of it is, well, we still need to kind of maintain what makes us unique.
Yeah. And with us, most of us have our own little, like, geographic areas, so we don't tend to go outside of those. But occasionally, you know, I'm visiting donors in Pittsburgh and, like, trying to get them to do things with us because they have, you know, a relationship here.
Yeah.
And they might have a relationship with the Pittsburgh Foundation too. So, you know, maybe they'd get their nose out of joint because, you know, quote unquote, taking money out of their pocket. But ultimately, it all comes down to the donor and what their relationship is. I don't go down and talk to people who have, like, no relationship here and be like, hey, do you want to give in Crawford County? Like, that would be stupid and probably just piss them off. So, you know.
Well, I'll tell you the other thing. It's not like folks from Erie or Erie or Pittsburgh are disconnected with what's here. I mean, you take a look at Connie Lake area, and summer is still a big time where people are coming up, and there is that connection, or maybe they have family, or maybe they've done business. You know, again, there are relationship opportunities.
Yeah.
And
well, and I mean, I say a lot, our biggest export from this region is people. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've got this huge, my friend Elizabeth Smith used the big word the other day, diaspora, which is kind of true. It's like, you know, we send a lot of people off to college or other things, and they improve themselves, but they still have roots here, and many of them still give back to this community and want to see it grow and thrive because their parents or their relatives or still live here, or they just have fun feelings for this community. Mm-hmm. And so that's a lot of what we're thinking about is, like, how do we connect those people and make sure that they know that there's a way for them to, you know, honor that relationship with money.
Yeah, well, it's great. And they can make an impact. And it doesn't take a lot to start that process and to start making an impact here.
For sure.
Okay. Graduation right around the corner.
Graduation is right around the corner. We've already announced our scholarships. We're a month ahead of where we are most years because we switch things up in our process. So every student who has received a scholarship from us at this point has received notification and hopefully has graciously accepted those scholarships. We have one scholarship where the student has decided not to return our calls or our outreach, and that student might not be getting a scholarship anymore. Oh. So the lesson here is, if you get a letter, if you get a phone call, if you get an email from the Community Foundation about your scholarship, you might want to acknowledge that. We're usually not so punitive, but in this case, it's one of those, come on, kid.
It's a good life lesson.
It is. It's a harsh life. It could very well be a harsh life lesson. called the guidance office yesterday and said, hey, this kid is failing on all counts. Like, who applies for a scholarship and doesn't give a correct phone number or email address that you check on the regular? Strange. Anyway, we might select a new student for that.
Somebody who filled it out for somebody else.
Well, so I wish, like, that's the thing. Like, we know.
Here's the can of worms.
We know we're cynical. Like, there are parents who fill out the scholarship application for their kid, and that hurts me in my soul because your kid has got to do the thing themselves. This isn't going to serve them in the long term. They've got to be self-actualized enough to do it themselves. You're not helping them in the long run by doing this. But we know it does happen. So we try to weed those out, and sometimes we can tell, like, when the parents, and very often the parents will slip up and just tell you that they've done it. And then you write a little note at the bottom, and you're like, hey, parent did this.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But for the most part, 90% of the time, the children are young people, they're graduating high school seniors, are fantastic students. They are inspiring stories. There are young people who are running businesses, manufacturing things, just well prepared for the future. Like, I don't really worry too much about the future, honestly, because young people are really have their act together way more than I did when I was going to college.
Isn't it crazy? I mean, when you look back, and we have a son who, middle son, just turned 20 this week. And I know, crazy.
That's insane.
It is. But it's it's kind of teasing him like, okay, well, you're not a teen. You're not 21.
I mean, he still looks like he's 10, but...
Yeah. So it's kind of... Then you go... Yeah, for these kids graduating high school, this is all they've known. They've been in school for all these years.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, you're getting thrown out in the world. Even if you're continuing into college, that's a different experience.
Yeah.
Or, a training program or whatever. It's like... Sometimes we need to step back and say, hey, give them some room and some space to figure things out.
Oh, for sure. A lot of the time. Like... You have to give people enough, ability to fail. You want them to have the supports they need in place, so they know to ask the questions. They know where they can fall back to. But at some point, you just have to let them make their mistakes. I mean,
yes.
I mean, you and I, we both know we've made we've learned the most from all the mistakes we've made in our lives.
I'm up to 4 today. I keep track every day.
Amy has reminded you of at least 5,
yes,
I'm sure.
Yes. And I'm her mistake, so it's like it just...
Right, it just compounds.
Yeah. Every decision. But no, it's okay. Yeah, I understand there's a lot of things in place to keep kids from failing and stuff, but it's okay to fail.
Oh, for sure.
You learn from that.
I wholeheartedly believe that.
Now, not returning a phone call, that's a simple thing.
Yeah, I mean, and you learn from that. I mean, I've not returned phone calls that have, shot myself in the foot for things that, I could have done a lot better. And I've learned my lesson of like, oh, this is a phone call I need to return quickly.
Yeah. Well,
so we'll see.
Yeah.
But anyway, graduations are coming up. I'll be making scholarship presentations at several local high schools. That's always fun. It's always nice to see, young people's smiles on their faces and all that kind of thing. We also have been giving out our grant money, so doing a lot of projects around the county.
Anything stand out?
Perhaps most notably here in Titusville, we're doing a Welcome to Titusville Gateway Project mural with the help of our Harold Matthews Fund, and so we're pretty excited about that. I saw some things on social media yesterday, kind of announcing the project, showing what the artwork is going to look like, and so we're kind of excited to see.
Do you know who posted that?
Gavin did.
Oh, did okay.
Yeah.
Well, we had Neil on Monday, and he had mentioned that.
Yeah.
That was...
Yeah. So Councilman Griffin posted some things yesterday about the new mural project, And so, anything that helps beautify the community helps to make things interesting. And
now, how about Meadville, Coney Lake, that area? Anything stand out?
So what we are, let's see, we're doing a lot of things. We're doing the Summer Parks program in Meadville. We gave a pretty significant grant to that. So that is kind of a combined effort between the YMCA of Meadville and some other entities, the city of Meadville as well. And they used to have a Summer Parks program where you'd go and like knit pot holders and make lanyards and all that kind of thing when you were a kid. So like same kind of thing. And they've had it, I want to say, last 3 summers. I think it was kind of a post-COVID kind of project of people being like, hey, we've got a lot of young people. They don't have anything to do in the summer. So we can get the older ones. We can pay them to like watch the younger ones create activities. And the young woman who runs this program is great. Like, she's got fantastic ideas, lots of energy. So really excited about seeing it continue. So we made a pretty significant investment in that. There was a nice article in the Meadville Tribune about it the other day. And it always helps to get like, pictures of smiling kids involved in activities and things. So we're kind of excited about that one. But yeah, lots of stuff that we've had a little bit of a hand in throughout the county. So we'll be reporting more after all those things are done, because sometimes you make awards to things and you're like, we're going to give you the money, we're going to hope you're going to get it done, we're going to hope it turns out well. Mural thing, we know that's going to be fine, like, got good people behind it. Summer Parks program, easy. It was an easy ask. So
that's fantastic.
We'll kind of see.
You're watching The Morning Drill on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Christian Maher with us here this morning from the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation. Well, that's one countdown. Another one, Crawford Gives.
Crawford Gives. And we moved it up this year. So, we had less time so it's going to be before the fair. And I think there are still about 40 organizations who were involved last year who have not yet registered for this year, so that's what we're focusing on right now. We switched our process up a little bit because we found that people were not updating their organizational profiles. So now you have to go on to the website and fill out the memorandum of understanding and upload it and double check your profile, and then you can get officially back into the system. So everybody, at the start, we deactivated everybody's profile. They went inactive, and until you fill out all the forms and do everything, you're not back in. So we've got a lot of people, I think, that are like, oh, we're just set up. We did it last year. No, you have to go and double check and do the work. So that process has been a little bit like pulling teeth. So I mean, I will say, I think we've got 120 organizations that have gotten their stuff in.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that's good. So,
by the way, when I'm like, hey, you got a countdown? In this case, there really is a countdown.
There's literally a countdown.
Yeah.
Oh, 94 days. So we are also going to be doing things like working with organizations to give them the tools that they need to more effectively fundraise through Crawford Gives. So Georgette from our office is going to do a few webinars, trying to teach people that, what kinds of things they can do to promote the event, get their donors involved, and also how, if you serve on the board of directors of an organization, how you can personally do some things to make sure that your organization is successful. So that's where we are right now. And if you have questions about that kind of thing, give me a call, give our office a call. We'll kind of walk you through it.
There's really a lot of moving parts to this because an organization could just put some content up and that's it.
Yeah.
But if you really want to make it work, you can build excitement. You can rally the troops for your organization. You can, there's things you can do
Right. And this is not the kind of thing that, like, you need to spend days and hours doing, but because you should be able to take, you know, your messaging and your key value proposition from other things that you've already done and, you know, adapt it for our website. Now, if you haven't done that elsewhere, that's good work that you should probably be doing anyway. So, you know, because you have to tell your story to your donors. You have to be able to say, hey, you know, every dollar you give does this, and it makes this kind of impact in our community, and that's why we thank you. So none of this should be extra work in any great sense. So you should have photos of what your projects do. You should have a little bit of video about what your program does. So all of those things should be pretty easy to adapt to creating just a profile on the Crawford Gives website.
Okay.
So
countdown's on. So
countdown is on. 94 days. So I'm not nervous. Are you nervous?
Well, yeah.
I mean,
whenever it hits August 1st, it's like, okay, well, because Crawford Gives. Yeah. It's like back to school. Yeah, I get nervous.
I have to find more matching dollars for Crawford Gives. We've had a lot of organizations and businesses come in already, but we're still not close to the amount that. Well, we're not close to last year's amount at all, and we want to see where things go this year. So I've got a lot of beating the bushes to do yet.
Now, if somebody would be interested in sitting down and having that conversation, they can call you and set up an appointment do that? Okay.
Yep. So that on top of all of our usual things of meeting with donors about, you know, wills and estate plans and all that kind of stuff, we're pretty busy.
And then, of course, the fair. Are you doing anything for the fair this year? Or are you too busy with? Okay.
No, I'm so I've got, you know, raised beds that are ready to plant, although unplanted, and I've got walnuts ready to enter from last year. So, and I've been getting emails about things I haven't yet done for the fruit and vegetable section of the fair.
Ooh.
So I'm going to be in trouble. So that's this weekend's project. Yeah, so, you know, too many irons in the fire, not enough for me to go around, but we'll try to do something. We'll see where things go.
I think everybody's sort of excited for the summer and tourists coming and just the busyness. The first Fridays, second Saturdays are back, right?
Yeah. The frost this morning did, you know, put a chill on things.
We covered track last night, and it was freezing.
Yeah.
By the end.
Yeah. Yeah, but, you know, it's only going to get better from here. So, you know, summer will officially be here before we know it. And hopefully all the things outdoors. And, you know, that's the great thing about living here is those 3 months of summer are usually
September's usually nice.
That is true. September is usually nice.
Yeah. Well, if folks have questions, want more information, how do they get it?
They can give me a call at 814-499-1852, or, you know, check out the website, crawfordheritage.org, or, you know, find me at your local coffee shop maybe. I don't know.
You know, next time we see you here, it's going to be after a lot of high school graduations.
True.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I don't know how. Whew. Can you imagine? Well, you don't have one graduating this year for a change, so
yeah, we'll still be covering it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. Christian, good to see you this morning.
Lovely to see you too. Thank
you. All the
again.
best. Take
Happy
care.
Mother's Day.
That's right.
China and the US are set for talks on trade this weekend in Geneva, and Donald Trump has raised hopes of a deal to cut America's steep tariff on Chinese goods.
Right now, you can't get any higher. It's at 145, so we know it's coming down.
Speaking Thursday, he said the weekend meeting would be substantive and expressed confidence that China wanted to make a deal. Trump's tariffs sparked a tit-for-tat with Beijing, which ended up imposing its own 125% levy on US goods. But figures out Friday showed little impact yet on Chinese trade. The country's exports surged over 8% in April, or more than 4 times the amount forecast by analysts. Imports posted just a slight drop when they had been predicted to plunge. Speaking the same day, Vice Foreign Minister Hua Chunying said China had no fear over its ability to manage the trade turmoil. She said US policy could not be sustained, with ordinary Americans already suffering from the impact of tariffs. Hopes of progress were further raised this week after Washington agreed to a trade deal with the UK, the first such pact since Trump imposed sweeping global tariffs. Critics called the deal limited, but it cheered markets and lifted stocks ahead of the weekend. Trump himself seems confident that China is ready to reach agreement.
You know, they very much want to make a deal. We can all play games. Who made the first call? Who didn't make it doesn't matter. It only matters what happens in that room. But I will tell you that China very much wants to make a deal. We'll see how that works out.
The weekend talks in Switzerland will see Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent and US trade negotiator Jameson Greer meet Chinese economy czar He Lifeng. Asked if he would talk to Chinese leader Xi Jinping in the following days, Trump said he might.
The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home has been serving the needs of Titusville and surrounding communities since 1965. Mr. Garrett believed in tradition and commitment to excellence, standards that have been passed down from one generation to now a new generation, who will work to provide you with a beautiful, lasting tribute to your loved one. When you need them, they will be there for you. This has been their foundation for almost 60 years. The Gordon B. Garrett Funeral Home, 303 North Washington Street in Titusville.
Anyone with a kind and generous heart and a little money can be a philanthropist. You too can be a force for good in our community, and the Crawford Heritage Community Foundation is here to help you make the most of your charitable giving. We've partnered with hundreds of people like you to make our world and our community a better place. You can give through us to support scholarships or any charitable organization or purpose. Whether you're interested in establishing a permanent endowment or adding to an existing fund, we want to be a part of your plan. Contact us when you're ready to make your mark. Together, we can make your contribution go further.
If you're looking for a professional massage therapist, Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville is here for you. Rayanne Rauch graduated from Slippery Rock University with a bachelor's degree in exercise and rehabilitative sciences with an emphasis in athletic training. Tranquil Moments offers a wide range of services, from Swedish massage to deep tissue, sugar scrubs to hot towel inclusion therapy. Like them on Facebook and visit their website to learn more about all the services they offer. Tranquil Moments Massage in Titusville.
Thinking about switching to 5G home internet? Think again. Unlike Zoom from Armstrong, 5G home internet is delivered by a cell tower. The further away you are, or the more devices connected to that tower, the slower your internet is. Cell phone providers also play favorites. When their network gets busy, cell phones win, and your home internet pays the price. Stick with Armstrong to get more data, more speed, and internet whenever you need it, not whenever they want. Armstrong, keeping you connected.
J. Gill Plumbing and Heating takes pride in being the premier heating and air conditioning service provider in the area. With over 30 years of experience, our highly skilled and certified technicians will work closely with you to address your heating and air conditioning repair, installation, or maintenance needs. Our team is dedicated to making your home the ultimate place of comfort. Call today to get a free estimate. We also offer financing options and membership opportunities that provide peace of mind and cost savings. Call J. Gill Plumbing and Heating today, or visit them online 24/7 at jgillplumbingheating.com.
Sheer Design is Titusville's exclusive Paul Mitchell-focused salon. This full-service salon specializes in coloring, cuts, nails, and tanning. Owner Angela Saxon has over 20 years' experience as a Paul Mitchell professional. She and her licensed staff offer all cuts and styles for men and women of all ages. Call 814-827-0010 or stop in at 116 South Kerr Street in Titusville.
Hi, I'm Jasmine Levin, and I provide certified dog grooming services along with boarding and doggy daycare. Our facility is family-owned and operated and promise personalized care for every pet that comes through our doors. If you're worried about your furry friend being lonely when you're gone, we also have on-site personnel 24/7 just for their comfort. Follow us on Facebook and call or text us at 814-758-9259 to make an appointment today.
Share the fun of train travel and relive our country's oil history as you ride the OC&T through the valley that changed the world. Learn about the past while traveling on vintage cars. See a variety of wildlife with stops at Drakewell Park, Petroleum Center, and Oil Creek State Park. Arrive early and see the vast collection of train and railroad memorabilia at Perry Street Station. After the ride, enjoy a night's stay at the Caboose Motel. For seasonal specials or for more information, visit octrr.org or call 814-676-1733.
Hi, I'm Heather Roberts, and I'm running to be your next magisterial district judge. I was born and raised right here in Titusville and went on to earn a degree from Penn State University in crime, law, and justice. I began my career in victim services, working with survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault, helping them to navigate the justice system with strength, compassion, and dignity. Today, I work as a paralegal in family and personal injury law. I'm a proud mom of 3, and my husband Jack and I are proud to call Titusville home. I humbly ask for your vote and your support on May 20th at the primary election. Thank you.
Stocks climbed Thursday as investors cheered a new trade deal between the U.S. and Britain, while President Donald Trump signaled upcoming talks with China would be more substantial than initially thought. The Dow and S&P 500 each gained roughly 0.6%, while the Nasdaq rose more than 1%. Britain agreed to lower its tariffs and provide greater access to U.S. goods as part of the trade agreement, while a 10% baseline tariff on goods imported from the UK into the U.S. remains in place. Airline stocks shot higher as the agreement exempted plane parts made by Rolls-Royce from tariffs. Shares of Delta Airlines closed up more than 7%. And shares of Boeing jumped after U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick said the UK would buy $10 billion worth of its planes. Marianne Bartles, chief investment strategist with Sanctuary Wealth, says the deal provides more positive momentum for stocks.
Today, we're having a great reaction, and that's primarily due to the tariffs, again, coming to a resolution with the United Kingdom, with the UK. And I kind of feel with tariffs, it feels like 2 steps forwards, 1 step back, 2 steps forwards, 1 step back, but we're trending higher in the markets. So I really like the market reaction. I think it's doing very well. It doesn't mean that we can't have more volatility, but I think the worst is over for the markets. I think the low is already set.
When it comes to China, Trump said he expects consequential negotiations between the U.S. and Beijing this weekend and wouldn't be surprised if a deal was reached. Other stocks on the move included Tapestry, which gained after the owner of Coach and Kate Spade raised its annual forecasts. And shares of Krispy Kreme lost almost a quarter of their value after the donut chain became the latest to withdraw its full-year forecast.
All right, let's take a look at that weather forecast for northwest Pennsylvania. Sunshine and clouds mixed today with temperatures in the upper 50s. Clear skies tonight with lows in the upper 30s. Saturday, sunshine, a high of 70. Sunday, sunny and low 70s for Mother's Day. Monday, partly cloudy, low 80s. And Tuesday, showers with temperatures in the upper 60s. We're about 44 degrees here in northwest Pennsylvania. This is the Morning Drill. You're watching it on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Glad you're with us here on a Friday before we wrap things up for the day, for the week, get you ready for Mother's Day weekend. We're going to talk sports, and we welcome to the program Mr. Sports, Bruce Peterson. Hi, Bruce. How are you?
Morning, Luke. Top of the morning to you. The sun is shining outside, so that's a good thing.
It
Been a little
is.
chilly the last couple of days.
Yeah, we were out
The
doing.
high today is supposed to be 57 degrees.
Well, this weekend's supposed to be decent, so we'll take it.
Yeah, it's supposed to warm up. So good weather's coming. We hope.
By July.
Well, a couple big stories: the Shelton firing and then the Pickens trade. So that's the stories at the top of the news.
Where do you want to start?
We'll start with the Shelton firing. I started thinking about a week or so ago that maybe Shelton would go. His record, the last 2 months of last year's record was 20 games out of 55, and he was 6 and 20. I think 6 and 22 this year. No, 12 and 22. Colorado is 6 wins, so they actually are better than Colorado. But I was looking at the metrics, and of the 15 teams in the National League, they are last or next to last in every offensive metric. I mean, batting average, OPS, RBIs, whatever. Didn't matter. They were either last or next to last. It was them in Colorado. Colorado is probably a worse team, but. And then I got to looking at some of their draft picks in the recent years, and the one thing I did notice is that when Cherington took over the team in 20, the quality of the draft picks picked up. If you look at some of the players from Huntington's time, he had like Sean Boz, Travis Swaggerty, Sammy Ciani, players that aren't even in baseball. But with Cherington, you got Nick Gonzalez, Carmen Bozinski, both with the team. Tamir Johnson, one of their top prospects. Tom Harrington, Paul Scanes, one of the best pitchers in baseball. And this year they got Connor Griffin last year, who I think is going to be a great player. So I think Cherington was looking at, we're not seeing enough development of these young players. I think that might have been the main reason he was let go. Now, whether it's his fault, I don't know. Not close enough to the team. And Don Kelly, who's taken over, he was the bench coach. Highly regarded, by the way. Everybody had great things to say about him. Is he going to be able to turn his team around? I don't know. I don't know.
He's a Pittsburgh guy, isn't he?
Yes, he is. Yep. And I was listening yesterday on the national shows, and everybody had nothing but great things to say about him. So I don't know. We'll see. Sometimes a new voice in the room helps. Sometimes maybe he's got a little more fire in him than Shelton was a pretty laid-back guy. So maybe you need somebody with a little more fire. I don't know. But they've been pretty bad. There's no way around it. They've been pretty bad. And they're in a rebuild, and everybody knows that. But the thing of it is, you want to see young players get better. And now they do have Gonzalez is out, their second baseman. Their first baseman, Horowitz, has not played a game this year. Jones, one of their top pitchers, is out. They have a lot of injuries, And does this affect your team? Well, probably. But anyway, he's gone. New voice, new manager, and I'm sure higher expectations.
We'll see. It's been interesting to see what the fans have said or where they place their blame. Because it's, I saw a little bit there. I saw a little bit with Cherington and still a lot with ownership.
Yeah. Well, Nutting is always going to be the bad guy. He's always going to be the bad guy. But I will say this, and we've talked about this in previous shows, that the economic system in baseball is not conducive for parity. All right. And to give you an example, and we've talked about this in the show before, in football, if you go back to 1965, Pete Rozelle, then commissioner of the NFL, sat down with the players and said, look, TV is going to be a huge generator of revenue in our sport. and we're going to have national contracts, and we want to share this money evenly among all the teams. And that decision has made NFL what it is today. It's the strongest sports organization in the world. You have parity among the league, and everybody spends the same amount of money and everybody gets the same amount of revenue. When you go to baseball, for example, TV revenue is local as opposed to national. It's local. So otherwise, the Pirates, their TV revenue comes from local TV stations as opposed to New York City, which comes from local TV stations there. But let's say, for example, Pittsburgh last year probably got $20 million from their local TV contract, and probably the Yankees got $230 or $240 million. So you can see right there, that's a disparity in baseball, is the TV revenue in the different markets. Now, if you took all this revenue and you shared it with everybody and dispersed it out, then you'd have a much more level playing field. But the Players Association has been totally against that. In the last two strikes, that was one of the key components of the contract, and they fought tooth and nail to keep that from happening. So you don't have revenue sharing, or you don't have salary cap in baseball.
Have they said why they're against it?
Well, what it does is it allows the teams at the top to have more money to spend on big contracts. And if you look at, and all you have to do is look at what happens to really good pitchers when they get to free agency. And remember, now in baseball, there's 6 years before they're a free agent. There's 3 years of total control, and there's 3 years of arbitration. All right. So after those 6, arbitration allows the player to negotiate. The first 3 years, you just take what you get.
Right.
So, but after 6 years, then you're free to go wherever you want to go. If you look and see where the really great pitchers go, they all go to the Dodgers or the Yankees or the Boston. And like Gary Cole was a prime example. Pittsburgh, before he was a free agent, traded him to Houston. He played there a couple of years, and then he wound up with the Yankees. Chapman, the reliever they had last year, was a great pitcher with the Cincinnati Reds. Where did he wind up? In New York. And look at the great pitchers they have out in L.A. That's what the lack of salary cap does. It has these huge salaries can now be given by these large teams on each coast, and they suck up all the pitching talent. That's why they're always good. Now, there is actually a salary cap in baseball. All right? Now, teams can go over it. If you go over it, you have to pay a luxury tax. All right, which is a percentage. It's a small percentage, and then that luxury tax is then shared among the rest of the teams. But does it really impact the teams from spending all this money? No, it's just a cost of doing business. So it is what it is.
Yeah. So really, until that's resolved, you've got a lot of teams that are just. I mean, they may have a lucky season or maybe a couple of years, but.
Exactly. You have Pittsburgh had 3 good years back when. The Reds had some good years. Milwaukee's in a good space now. But what happens with Milwaukee, they have a lot of young players, and when they reach that 6-year limit, then they're going to go off to bigger teams. And so they're going to be starting over again. That's the way it is. Is it fair? No. Is it going to be fixed? Probably not. So
Pirate fans just need to kind of take a deep breath and just say, enjoy going to the game or enjoy watching, but
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And unlike Colorado, they're even a worse team. And I looked at their record over the last 4 years; they've been worse than Pittsburgh. So
what was it last year? The White Sox were terrible.
Yeah. Now they're a fairly large market team, so you kind of wonder about them. But they got a new owner, and I don't know what's going on there. But and the other thing in baseball is that first-round draft picks are not as much of a sure thing in baseball as they are in football, okay? And it takes longer to develop players in baseball than it does football. If you draft a player in baseball, even if he's good, you might not see him for 4 or 5 years. In pro football, he's probably going to be a starter. So that development period is much longer in baseball, and it's not a sure thing. I was looking at some draft picks from the Pirates back in 2017, 18, and 19. Guys like Travis Swaggerty, Sammy Siani, they never made it to the pros. These were number one draft picks, never made it to the pros, and there was a lot of them for the Pirates. So, so that's the other thing in baseball is that just because you're a high draft pick does not mean you're going to be a professional. And as in pro football, a number one draft pick usually is a really good player that will impact your team now. Not the case in baseball. A lot of different.
You're watching the Morning Joe on Stream TV and on the Armstrong Neighborhood Channel. Mr. Sports, Bruce Peterson with us. All right, well, that's Pittsburgh story number 1. Pittsburgh story number 2 today.
Pickens, the wide receiver. A lot of talk about him being traded before the draft. I still thought he was going to be traded, and he was yesterday. Why was he traded? Well, not liked by the rest of the team. The other players did not like him. He was not liked by the staff. He showed up late for meetings. He took plays off on the field. He didn't block on the backside. He just was a kind of a malcontent. And then if he didn't get the ball, all these sideline outbursts. And so, as Dale Lally and Matt Williamson said, when the chaos becomes greater than the production, you get rid of him. So he was traded to the Dallas. He was traded to Dallas for a third-round pick, and then they switched to 5th and 6th round pick. So, and I think they've been in discussion with Dallas for quite a while. I think the discussion was I think Pittsburgh wanted a 2nd-round pick, but Dallas wasn't going to give them a 2nd-round pick, so they wound up taking a 3rd. So I think that was a discussion. But he's gone, and it is the opinion of everybody around the Steelers that they're going to make another trade or another signing to bring in another wide receiver to kind of fill that hole in the roster. So,
it's too bad. We've seen several players over the more recent years that have shown extreme talent, but the discipline isn't there.
Yeah, that really is. Yeah, it really comes down to maturity. Maturity. How grown up are you? Pickens was not a grown up. He was a child. He acted like a child. Deontay Johnson was another one, kind of a petulant young man. And usually Pittsburgh will put up with him for so long, and then they say, "Okay, sayonara." And I think Deontay Johnson just signed a contract with Cleveland for the league minimum. How he has fallen. And I think he played in the last year with Baltimore, didn't he? Didn't he wind up with Baltimore last year, I think?
Yeah.
Toward the end of the season. They picked him up toward the end of the season. But, he was a good wide receiver. Antonio Brown's another one. Now, he was productive, and they put up with him as long as he was making 80 or 100 catches a season. But when he got to the point where it just became too much chaos, then they sent him packing.
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell was another one.
Yes.
He was another one. Now, Le'Veon Bell did admit, I screwed up. I should have stayed in Pittsburgh. I'd have had a better ending of my career. He got it. He finally got it. But
I would be bringing him in as a motivational speaker every season.
Hey, might not be a bad idea. And Pickens did say to the Dallas press that he did not request a trade. So he said that was in the paper this morning. So, But I think Pittsburgh requested the trade.
Well, maybe after a year or two, some perspective, maybe he'll be looking back going, okay, I messed up. And maybe he won't. You never know.
The other thing is they got a rookie coach. Never been a head coach before in the NFL. And he's going to have to deal with Pickens. Good luck. Really, for a head coach, that's tough. Because you've not done this job before. You've not handled the team before. So he's going to have his hands full handling Pickens.
Yeah.
Now he might have some veteran players that'll help him. I don't know.
It could be a Johnson situation where you go to another team, they're not going to put up with you as much, and after
go to another team.
Yeah.
You kind of bounce from team to team, and people take a flyer on you, and
which is
it's too bad because he could have been a Pro Bowl caliber player. He's that good. And that's why he slipped in the 2nd round. He he was first-round talent that slipped to the second round. Pittsburgh got him in the second round fairly low, and that's why he slipped, because this was known. This attitude, he had this attitude at Georgia, and so that's why he slipped from the first round to the second round. So these things follow you around. They do.
Well, anything else in the world of sports? Did you watch the Kentucky Derby? I can't believe we didn't talk about it last week.
I did. It was
Sovereignty.
Yeah, Sovereignty beat, was it Spare Change or
Journalism?
Something? Journalism, yeah. Beat. It was a close race. Yeah, it was a close race. Yeah, I did watch it. I'm kind of a Kentucky Derby fan.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any Triple Crown winners this year, but you never know. You never know. Could be. We've had a couple in recent years, horses that won all three, but they were kind of talked about. Usually, Triple Crown winners about. You kind of know this is really a good horse, and he has a chance. And the last two, and there was two fairly close. Wasn't there two back-to-back? Didn't we have back-to-back Triple Crown winners back in like 8 or 10 years ago? I'm thinking we did. I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, good race. And the Preakness is coming up, I think, in next week, and then in 3 weeks, the Belmont. So I went back and watched the movie Secretariat just a few days ago. And if you've never seen that movie, if you like good sports movies, that's a really good sports movie.
Now, I don't know if you saw this, but they were saying every horse in the Kentucky Derby is related to Secretariat.
Could be. He sired a lot of people. Yeah, he sired, I think, 600.
Well, they say shares the bloodline with Secretariat.
Yeah. He sired a lot of horses. Yeah, his. If you remember the story, he was. I can't think of the word, but the I think $6.1 million was put together to different investors put together that much money to create the company that he would sire all these mares. And yeah, he was a very prolific, although he did not produce any Triple Crown winners, but he produced mares that produced really good horses. So he produced the females, not so much the males. So, but he still holds the record for the fastest time in all three races. The record, still holds it. It's considered today to be the greatest horse of all time. If you haven't seen the movie, go watch the movie. It's a really good story, and it's pretty true to what really happened. Penny Chenery and the trainer and the jockey. It's a really good story. Turcotte was the jockey, and I can't remember the trainer's name, but it's a really good story.
Well, yeah, it's a great 2 minutes.
Yeah.
It's funny where they have like 6 hours of coverage for.
Yeah, I mean they're there all day, and it's not the only race. I mean, there's a lot of races. It's toward the end of the day,
right?
It's usually in the end of the day when it's a little bit cooler. I think it's around 5 o'clock or so. But there's races all day. But it is it's a big deal. The Kentucky Derby is a big deal, especially if you live in Kentucky.
That's right. Well, I was looking, Bruce. Prices weren't that bad. It ranged from like $120 to obviously thousands of dollars.
Right. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you could probably get tickets on the black market a little cheaper than that. I would like to go to one. That's a sporting event I would like to attend. I would like to go to a Kentucky Derby and just experience the hoopla.
Yeah,
it would be great.
It would be.
The women dressing up to the nines. I mean, it's a big deal.
Bruce, great to see you. Have a great weekend.
We will see you next week.
And by the way, happy birthday to you.
Thank you. I turned 39 2 days ago. And if you believe that, I got a bridge in Brooklyn I'd like to sell you.
Enjoy that bridge, Bruce. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, my friend.
All right, take care. That's Mr. Sports, Bruce Peterson. Have a great weekend. Have a great Mother's Day. See you back here Monday.